Yaha! There you are. Hello, you Christmas merrymakers. To introduce myself, I'm Canny Caswell, uncle of that jazz reprobate, Caswell, the scoundrel if ever there was one. Anyway, I'm much more prudent and cautious than he is. So with austerity as our byword, I'm going to teach you how to save lots and lots of money at Christmas by recycling your Christmas cards. Recycling is always very laudable. So just to choose one at random here we've got a card that was sent to me last Christmas, one of the 2,749 that I received. And this one shows, well, I think it's a snowman, isn't it? And a nice young chap here. But you can't just sign this and send it back to your dear friends, because if you look inside, they've put who it's to at the top and who it's from at the bottom. But this is where Canny Caswell gets his name. So here we go. You might think, by the way, that the main tool of my trade is going to be a prudent pair of scissors. Now, normally I always advocate prudence, but in this particular instance, I'm going to suggest that you have major outlay, a real capital investment, and invest in a really serious pair of scissors like this, even though they might cost you £3 to £4 in a discount shop. You'll get your money back with all this recycling. So off we go. We have to cut off the top bit that says to and the bottom bit from. So if you line the top bit up, you just cut along here like this. See what I'm doing? And then you look inside again and cut off the from. In fact, you don't have to cut off the love from, only the name, which means we can come right down to there to maximise our new card. So off we go. I'm going along very carefully along this line here. And Bob's your uncle. You'll find inside you've got plenty of space to put to. You've got the love from, and you can just put your good name in. And then when we look at the front, we've got still a very respectable Christmas card. We've got about 2/3 of the snowman and about 50% of the dog, which is enough for anybody here by my reckoning. So there we are. You'll spread a lot of merriment by saving money on a Christmas card and ameliorate the cost of the scissors amongst all the others. Now I will show you one or two more examples, because sometimes there's other cunning ploys we can use. Here we are, for instance. Here's our good old friend, the Christmas robin. Now the Christmas robin features large at Christmas, and what have we got here? We've got a 2 at the top, so let's cut that off. I think we can just miss Robin's head there if we're very careful. And then we look inside and we see that we can just miss from John G, whoever that was. Oh, I think I do remember John G, a very fine friend of mine from Birmingham, no less. So here we go. We're just going to have a sight line once more. Got to be very accurate here. Yes, we can just scrape inside the bottom of Robin's tummy, and we've got what most people would consider to be an incredibly artistic composition. So you've got a legless Robin, but nobody's going to know he once had legs. And then you can do your to and from there. Now I hope you're beginning to see how really cunning and very, very strong in initiative Here we've got Merry Christmas at the top and a rather perky penguin. Now this one only needs one cut because we've just got an example of all the signing at the bottom. So let's line him up well, just where my thumb is here. You've got to be very, very careful, and for goodness sake, don't cut the top of your thumb off. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen, all you merrymakers. We've got just enough of the penguin to give good cheer, because it's the tiding of goodwill to all men. Merry Christmas. And inside we've still preserved have fun at Christmas. So there we are. Well, I could go on and on and on, because this card you could make into two, have one set of jolly buildings at the top and one at the bottom. This card you could have the choir boys from the chest upwards and the church tower. Not bad in my opinion. And this card might be positively improved by cutting it down, because you don't need the bottom, you don't need the top. Much nicer card. Right, now we come to the do's and the don'ts. In fact, I've given you the do's, and now we come to the don'ts, the no-nos. The first thing is to say is, for goodness sake, whatever you do, don't send the same card that you received from the person back to them again, because they'll recognise it, and heaven forbid, they might think you're mean. So we don't want that. And the other problem is, if you send it back to them, and if they're quick-witted enough to realise what you've done, they'll be tempted to do it to you and cut the card down further, so the card will go backwards and forwards every 12 months, getting smaller and smaller, and you'll suddenly find that that card has become less than the size of a postage stamp, and that really would be very parsimonious. And now, all you merrymakers, let's concentrate just a little bit further on the things to avoid, the problem areas, because they do abound. First of all, a very popular, perhaps the most popular motif on a Christmas card is the Christmas tree. Now, they're easy, you think. You can lop off the top half, still makes a very nice Christmas tree, and scrap the bottom. You can even go a bit lower. But don't be tempted, however keen you are on frugality and austerity, never do that. I've seen it done, and it's a no-no, because nobody wants a Christmas card that consists of a tub and a stump. It's not very romantic. Who wants a stump? So forget that idea. Another one that's equally bad is if you've got a Merry Christmas Robin. This is a cartoon Robin, I hasten to say. You can cut him off at the knees like we did with the last Robin, and you can send the top half, but don't under any circumstances try and save money by sending the bottom half, because again, nobody just wants a couple of legs and feet. I would say at this point that it would be fatal. This is a card from some of my friends that are in a jazz band. It's called the Ambassadors of Jazz, and people might recognise the personnel and think they're conniving in the meanness, and we don't want anything like that, do we? Or worse still, to send it back to them with half of them missing. Okay, everybody, well, I'm hoping you've enjoyed all my tips, hints and cunning wrinkles, and you'd have to be a bit of a hottie peak or a curmudgeon not to, in my opinion. So let's hope this spreads lots of happiness and lots of recycling over the Christmas period. Very, very important, this. And lastly, you're going to say, I wonder if that Canny Caswell is going to send me one of these cut to pieces cards, because from now on I'll be up to his little ruse, but I'm ahead of you. I'm not going to send any cards to any of you this Christmas. You'll be the ones sending all the cut-down cards, and all I'm going to do is send you this video as my online Christmas present. So to all of you, a very, very hearty Merry Christmas from Canny Caswell.